We've got some numbers here in the NFL generated by Opta AI. Again, VSiN Pro subscribers, you already know all about this. I wonder, does the gravy train ever come to an end with the Seahawks and what they've done offensively?
We are going to very much be invested in Sam Darnold and your boys there in Seattle this week. We don't agree with everything in Opta AI. We are going to agree in this big-time NFC West matchup. So Sam Darnold, and these numbers have changed, so I'll give you some of the updates here on the ones that I have locked in pocket. We are in, Dave, on Sam Darnold, over 254.5 passing yards, over 29.5 pass attempts, over 20.5 pass completions. We are obviously going to have a correlated play. Jaxon Smith, and God, it is still mind-boggling to look at these numbers. Just the posted total, the posted over-under. Jaxon Smith-Njigba over 101.5 receiving yards. Opta has him projected yet again of north of 125. We're not getting in the way of that freight train, man. So correlated play right there with Darnold and JSN. Other ones that are intriguing that we have in pocket here, Dave, your guy, former Cowboy, Rico Dowdle. I think there is going to be a little bit of regression from him. The under 91.5 rush yards, no longer there. It's down to 90.5, but I still like it there. We'll lock in that under. We'll also lock in the under 19.5 rush attempts here. That just one of those plays and one of those looks here with where the Panthers are and what that offense could look like here on Sunday. The other one, too, is Bryce Young. I think there is going to be much more passing than maybe that game script might lend on paper. So we'll take the over. It was listed last night, David, 158.5 on Bryce Young's pass yards. It's now up to 162.5. So I jumped in on the 160 or more. That's at $1.24 on DraftKings. So we'll kind of play the middle on that right there. Just another yard and a half to get over it. But that one wanted to lock in, as well as his over 28.5 passing attempts.
You know, if people are out there looking at Jaxon Smith-Njigba and worried a little bit about, remember he had the concussion scare last week and the big win and the easy win at home against Arizona. He was checked out for that. He did clear concussion protocol, did come back briefly, but again, with that huge lead, he did not play a lot in that second half. So again, if you're looking at that, I don't think it's overly concerning here. It looks like he's going to be full steam ahead here in that pivotal matchup against the Rams. We like to find those dance partners out there, Jensen, for maybe if you don't like the initial number, you can find some tease spots here. What have you found that you might like?
All right, I figured I would kind of cook a few up here, and you already like your Dolphins in a survivor lean spot. So let's go to Madrid, and let's look at that potential tease spot. Let's take the Commanders and get them up to 8.5, and let's team it with the Cardinals up to 8.5. Okay, so that's one for you to consider. The next one, again, I told you I think it's a smash spot for the Ravens. I think they leave no stone unturned, leave no doubt. Similarly, Texans, I know it's an emotional comeback. Titans off the bye week. Could be a little tricky there, so I don't like laying all those points on the road. Let's get both those 7.5s down to 1.5s there for the Texans and the Ravens. And maybe one that you and I will be invested in, period. And I know many others will have their eyes on. Seahawks and Rams, you can get me up to Seattle plus 8.5. Absolutely. The Lions, Dan Campbell calling plays. You can get me up to 8.5. For the Eagles at Philadelphia, I think I like it as well. Okay, I give you the floor. Which one of those three would you want to invest in most notably?
One of them I might already have in pocket. That would be Seahawks up to 8.5. The Lions up to 8.5. Before those numbers change, Lions now down to 1.5. I'm right there with you. I love those plays this week. I'm not going to tip my hand for tomorrow's ATS selections. I will say went 7-3 last week in those selections, and one of those was a Giants loss somehow, plus 3.5 that didn't get home against the Bears. So our radar is pretty locked in. I really do. I look at that Lions game against the Eagles, and yeah, the Eagles got the win Monday night against Green Bay. I think Dan Campbell's going to have a little bit to be said in that big one, which could be potentially, the way it plays out, for the number one seed in the NFC. We'll see how it plays out west with Seattle and the Rams, of course. But right now, Detroit and Philly, whoever wins that game would have the upper edge there. And remember, barring a tie in that Rams and Seattle game, one of those two teams would have 3 losses. If Detroit wins, they still have 3 losses, so they'd be right there in the running for the number one spot all of a sudden in the NFC. And that's kind of where I lean. I love that teaser leg there, up to 8.5 for the Seahawks and the Lions.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.